And hello. Hello from your teacher. Yes, I know you can't see me, but it is me, Caroline. You can hear me because I am preparing with this a video tutorial for your grammar of this week. And this is part of your lesson. It's an important part. Obviously, it's recorded. This means you can watch this video more than one time. You can watch it all the times you need in order to understand the grammar of this week, because both the key grammar lessons of this week, there are two, will be on video, these video tutorials. So you have complete control over your lessons. You can, on your own, watch them again, move them forward, find the parts that you didn't understand. First of all, however, I want to speak to you about studying in general. Our memory as human beings is helped greatly if we listen, obviously, and watch. It's very important. So yes, listening and watching are very, very important, but also reading and writing. And I want to speak about this writing part. It is the skill that you are worst at. Don't be offended, but your writing is generally very weak. Some of you are quite good. Some of you need to improve, really need to work at it. And so at every possible opportunity, I would ask you to do some writing. And like all students, what you should be doing when you have a lesson of any sort is taking notes. So I'm going to ask you now to look around you on your desk and say to yourself whether you have a notebook and a pen or pencil ready to write. Have you? Do you have a notebook? Do you have a pen or a pencil? If the answer is yes, well done. Very good. If the answer is no, well, I have to ask you why. Why not? How can you be a student and not have a notebook and a pen or pencil with you at all times? So quickly go get your notebook and your pen and pencil now. Okay, I'm going to start the lesson. The lesson today is, it's one of our key grammar points. It's the past simple test. It says Unit 8. That's not our Unit 8. It's from another book. The past simple is the lesson for today. And some of you are saying, well, I know that. I don't need to study that. It's easy. I've studied it 1,000 times before. Well, I have to tell you that in your quiz of last week, there were a good number of examples of you, maybe not you personally, but certainly some of your friends, of you not using the past simple correctly. Either getting an irregular form wrong or getting confused about the use of did in the negative and question forms. So yes, you kind of understand it, but you're still making mistakes. We're going to speak today about meaning and use, because in English, verb tenses are vehicles, a bit like trucks. They carry a very important load, and that important load is meaning. We choose certain tenses, for example, in this case, the past simple and not the present perfect or the past perfect or the past continuous, which we will be studying after this. We choose the past simple because each one of these has a different meaning. So for an English person or an American person or a Canadian or Australian, somebody who uses English as their first language, when they hear a past simple used, they hear their friend say, I went, immediately they understand something about the meaning of this choice of tense. And the meaning is, this thing I'm telling you about happened in the past and it's finished. Okay, so the past simple we choose. I went, I ate, I studied. When all these things were done in the past and were finished in the past. And this is very important. This is different from I have studied. I have studied means it started in the past, but it's not finished. So there's a big difference between the verb tenses. So past simple, when the thing happened in the past, also finished in the past. We will have a look at structure, which is probably the part you've studied most often, how to make it. So you've got subject, and then you've got the ed form of the verb, and so on. But a lot of you get confused, especially when you try to do the negative or question forms. And some of you forget the irregular, the non-regular forms of the past tense. Excuse me. And then we will go on and do some exercises just to make sure we've understood. Okay, first thing we must do is think about meaning and use. Why we say I went and not I have gone. When is it that we use the past simple or the simple past tense? We use the simple past to express the idea, or to speak about the idea of an action which started and finished in the past. And very often in sentences we will use some time expressions, some very, very common time expressions that you've heard a million times before. They are the friends of the simple past. Yesterday, for example. Yesterday and the past simple are friends. Yesterday and the present perfect are not friends. And by that I mean, we say, yesterday I went. That's correct. We don't say, yesterday I have gone. That is not correct. Last month is another friend of the past simple. So we can say, last month I went. Last month I studied. Last month I ate. These are all correct because last month is a finished time, just like yesterday is a finished time. So these two expressions, meaning finished time, are the friends of the verb tense, simple past, because it's for finished time. Last year is finished time. Last week is finished time. Ago, for example, 1 month ago, 2 days ago, 5 minutes ago, 1 century ago, 1,000 years ago. These are all finished in the past, and they are all friends of the simple past. In 1980, 1990, in 1890, in the year 1266, in 1789, in 2018, these are all finished. None of them are present. I saw Maria yesterday. That is correct. I have seen Maria yesterday is not correct. Last Friday is finished. The students took their spelling and vocabulary tests. They got married 2 years ago. Got is the verb there. Married is only an adjective here. 2 years ago is finished, and so they got is correct. They have got 2 years ago is not correct. These actions are over. They are finished. So let's look at how we form the simple past. There are 2 types of verbs in English when we speak in the past tense: regular and irregular. The regular ones are extremely easy. All you do is take the normal verb, the present form, like walk, and add ed. Live. Oh, here we just add d because already there's the e. Studied. Well, it's the same thing. We don't like y in the middle of a word. We like y at the ends of words in English. So when we add ed, we transform the y into I. Same thing here. Okay? So they're very easy. Work, worked. Attend, attended. Hope, hoped, and so on. And the most verbs in English are regular. But there are some which are irregular, non-regular. And we can see this one is this is the past simple of teach. This one we pronounce taught. So the change is complete from teach to taught, from give to gave, from become with an O to became with an A, and from do to did. So the change is strange. We don't know the change unless we study it. So there we are, all the regular and irregular ones mapped out for you. Regular verbs end with ed. Simple form: walk, study, cry. Live. They transform into walked, studied, cried, lived. Okay? So it's very easy when the verb is regular. The problem is when they are irregular. They don't end in ed in the past. They change inside the word. For example, become, the O in the simple form, the present form, changes into an A to make it the past. Give, the I changes into an A. Drive, the I turns into an O. Forget, that E changes into an O. So how do you know what to do? You must study them. There are other kinds of changes. For example, the word changes completely. I mean, this is dramatic. From teach, we have taught, completely 100% different. Bring goes to brought. Look, please note that the spelling of these words is terrible, but saying them, the pronunciation is actually quite easy. Taught, brought. It's not too terrible. The problem is the spelling. Leave becomes left. Hear becomes heard. Buy becomes bought. For example, Celia bought a new computer last weekend. So how do you know? How do you know that teach becomes taught? You must study it. English people and American people, when we're children, we learn these past tenses. Little children in England and America and South Africa will say teached, bringed, leaved, and heard, bide, because they think that the ed is what you do to all verbs, that the regular way of turning something into the past tense is what you do to all the verbs. So you hear little American children saying, "Mummy, Mummy, today in school, Mrs. Jones teached us about zoo animals." And the mother says, "No, dear, it's not teached. taught. So in English, mummies and daddies and grandmothers and grandfathers, they are the first language teachers, and they help their children learn these irregular forms. And you have to study them from a book or a computer. Oh, there's another group of irregular verbs which are really, really strange. They don't change at all. For example, hit. Hit is, that's to hit, is to come into contact with something violently. In the past tense, it's hit. It doesn't change. So if I say, I hit the dog, you and an American and anybody listening to me don't know if I mean I hit a dog every day or I hit a dog yesterday or last week. You can't tell in that simple sentence, I hit the dog. It's not possible to know if I'm talking in the past or present until I give more information. So I say, I hit the dog yesterday. And when you hear the word yesterday, you understand I'm talking about the past. I hit the dog every day because I'm a horrible person. Then you have the information to know what I'm talking about. Put, put. Set, set. Children set the table every Sunday. The children set the table last night. If you don't get this information here, this extra information that tells you it's regular, it's every week, and in this sentence that it's past, it was last night, you cannot tell. If you don't look at these extra words which explain when the setting of the table took place, you can't know. It's not possible to know. And that's the table set. So, for regular verbs, simply use the ed form of the verb in a positive sentence. Aha! So this is a little exercise for you. So think about this. When I was a child, the piano. Use the verb play. This is so easy. Donna, Paris. What do we do with this verb visit? Played. Visited. And there's Paris, the city of romance and love. How nice. Very simple, very easy to transform from present to past. Just be careful with the spelling. It's the spelling can catch you out. For irregular verbs, it's a bit more complicated. These forms must be memorized. You must study them. I studied them. My mother studied them. My father studied them. We all studied them when we were children. Last week, I used the verb send you a letter. What's the correct answer? The students use the verb have an English exam. We want it in the past. They use the verb do a great job. Sent. That is the irregular past of send. Had. That's the irregular past of have. Did. That's the irregular past of do. Excellent. For negative sentences, and here some of you made mistakes in your quiz last week. You use did not or didn't, but then you must remember to use the base form, the infinitive, the present form. I went to work yesterday is the positive form. I didn't go to work yesterday. So went is okay in the positive sentence, but in the negative, the verb changes back to go. Why? Because this word here, or combined, didn't, means this is past. Okay? Did means this sentence is past. we don't have two past markers in the same sentence, just the one. So that did says, okay, this is in the past. And so the verb itself is left in the present form. And now we see why he didn't go to work yesterday. He was sick. You have to be careful. The verb be is special. And that, there's the word exception. An exception is something which, different from all other examples, does not change. We use was, or were, and the not. No did here. For the verb be, we do not use did. The verb be is special. Never use did not or didn't with the verb be. For yes, no questions, use did. Subject and the verb, the main verb, the base form. Did you go? Again, if did is present, this time it's present, not because it's negative, but because it's a question. If did is present, this means all of this sentence is in the past. So the verb itself stays in the present because we don't have two past markers in the same sentence. Did you come yesterday? Again, did means all of this is in the past. So the verb itself stays in the present. And here is another exercise. I'm going to ask you to stop the video here, and I want you to quickly note down in your notebook, which you should have ready, the answers to this exercise. You don't have to write all of the exercise. You don't have to copy last year. Just quickly write down the correct forms of the verb. Okay? So stop the video here and do this exercise, please. Did you do the exercise? Good. Was it easy? Oh, here's another part to it. Okay. Didn't realise. It's huge. Okay. Stop the video again and finish the exercise off. Okay. Let's check the answers. Spend becomes spent. Be transforms into was. Travel becomes traveled. Look, there are two L's, so there's a spelling change there. Visit is regular, so it becomes visited. Go becomes went. Be becomes were here because the subject is we. Here it was it. I was. You were. He, she, it was. We were, you were, they were. Just to remind you. And then didn't rain, saw, and had. So how many did you get correct? Hopefully all of them. Okay. Now it's time to practice on your own to do a much bigger, much longer exercise, which you will find under this video. It's on your Schoology page under this video. I would like you to do the exercises and see how you get on. Hopefully, you will find it very easy now. Good luck.